Yeah.
Okay. Contention 1. The Assad regime in Syria is detrimental to the Middle East. Subpoint A. The Assad regime has a powerful foothold over the Middle East. Michael J. Tani, contributing editor and blogger for World Affairs, July/August 2012. The Iraq Socialist Ba'ath Party regime, beginning with its founder Hafez al-Assad and continuing through his son Bashar, is the deadliest state sponsor of terrorism in the Arab Middle East. It assisted in the bloodthirsty insurgency in Iraq that killed American soldiers by the thousands and murdered Iraqi civilians by the tens of thousands. It had used both terrorism and conventional military power to place Lebanon under its boot since the mid-1970s. It made Syria into the logistic hub for Hezbollah, the best equipped and most lethal non-state armed force in the world. It had waged a terrorist war against Israel and the peace process for decades, not only from Lebanon, but also from the West Bank and Gaza. It is Iran's sole Arab ally and is bridge to the Mediterranean. Subpoint B. Military intervention will open the door for regime change. Nader Ashed, the director of the Center for Middle East Studies, September 20th, 2013. For them, it's a zero-sum game and a fight to the finish. It cynically manipulates sectarian identity and anti-imperialism to maintain this criminal enterprise. Military intervention, as regrettable and complicated as it may be, is the only way to stop Assad's killing machine. By doing so, it may also open the door for people of people of Syria to exercise, arguably for the first time in their modern history, their right to self-determination. But there is a further compelling reason why military intervention in Syria is required. This is what most Syrians are demanding from the international community. The most inclusive and responsible body of Syrians is the National Coalition for the Syrian Revolutionary and Opposition Force, the Syrian Coalition for short. While far from a perfect group, it harbors the best prospects for leading Syria to a democratic future. It includes Syrians both inside and outside the country and spans the religious secular divide. More than 110 countries have officially recognized it as a legitimate representation of the Syrian people. Subpoint C. Syria's situation is causing tensions in other countries. Tom Rogan, writer for the U.S. News, June 26, 2013. It isn't just Lebanon and Syria. In Iraq, violence is increasing. In Egypt, protest movements are continuing to challenge the new order of the Muslim Brotherhood. Across the region, varied political movements are in contest for the future of their societies. With the Syrian civil war grinding on, it's highly possible that Lebanon's tensions will continue to grow. Subpoint D. If the tensions continue to spread, then it will destabilize the region. Middle East Business Intelligence, August 23rd, 2013. As civil war rages on, its ripples are spreading ever wider, threatening to destabilize the region. Running battles have been seen in Lebanon's second largest city, Tripoli, between Sunni Muslims opposed to the al-Assad regime and ethnic Syrians. Refugees are again pouring into Jordan and Turkey. Meanwhile, in Israel, there has been a race to secure gas masks as rumors reveal that Syria has given Hezbollah Scud missiles, which the group vows to use if Tel Aviv follows through on threat to attack Iran over its refusal to end its nuclear power regime. Money and arms are flowing around the region. Contention 2. Regime change in Syria would lead to instability in the Middle East. Subpoint A. Regime change will allow the Middle East to make its own decisions without fear of Assad. Michael J. Tani, journalist, World Affairs, August 2012. A fresh government in Damascus will almost certainly be less friendly towards Iran and Hezbollah and more friendly towards Lebanon. Beirut will be able to make more of its own decisions, which are naturally closer to what the U.S. and Israel want, even if there aren't any else. So many of Lebanon's politicians are currently bribed and bullied by Assad into doing his bidding, including their support for Hezbollah and violent resistance against Israel. Even Hezbollah's most powerful tactical ally only supports their organization under duress. So failure to invoke regime change will enable Assad to ride out U.S. attack. William C. Mallon, Associate Professor of International Security. To be precise, any American decision to use military force should be guided by 3 objectives. First, preventing further use of chemical weapons while demonstrating that the U.S. is committed to enforcing this norm. Second, weakening the regime of Syria's President Bashar Assad while exerting the rise of moderate opposition group in Syria. Third, undermining the influence of Syria's principal geopolitical patrons, Russia and Iran, which actions directly support Assad's decision to gas his own people. While policymakers shy away from regime change, the threat of regime change directly supports each of these objectives. I would argue further that the United States cannot accomplish these strategic objectives unless it is willing to invoke regime change. I am now open for cross-examination.
So I want to start off by asking just one question. Is it currently legal for the United States to attack Syria?
What do you mean?
Like, is it legal for us to attack them? Do we have approval from the national community?
From the national community who?
Well, since we sit on the United Nations, that would be the international community we're held accountable to.
Well, currently we're not because of Russia's veto.
Okay.
That part is being blocked from us. Though the U.S. has gone to war in previous without certain permission.
Okay, and then in your contention to subpoint A, where in that piece of evidence does it talk about how the Middle East will be able to function on its own with the regime change?
To function without its own. Well, the U.S. has never gone into a country and just left it by itself. It was always given it somehow a way to get back on its feet. And that's what I believe the U.S. will do.
But in that specific piece of evidence, the subpoint A, where in that piece of evidence does it say that the Middle East will be able to, where does it say the Middle East will be able to make its own decisions without fear of Assad? Where does it say that?
Well, actually, this piece of evidence is more saying what he is currently doing.
Does that piece of evidence actually say that Beirut will be able to make its own decisions and not the Middle East as a whole?
Beirut will be able to make more of its own decision.
So it doesn't say the Middle East?
No, it's parts of the Middle East specific.
Okay.
It specifically says which parts.
Okay, thanks.